But let's go over the comics that I've been reading lately first. You have any comics you've been reading lately, Amir?
I started reading Wildcats, the 1999 Wildcat series, because it is being brought back. They're coming back in 2023, I believe, early 2023. So I've been reading that. That's really about it.
Okay. So I've been reading Jujutsu Kaisen. Uh, it's starting to feel like a mix of Dragon Ball Z and Bleach, and I'm not necessarily saying that as a bad thing. Especially since I love Bleach, I love and Dragon Ball Z. It's just that DBZ specifically isn't known for its amazing storylines. Jujutsu Kaisen has a story that does just enough to explain why the fights are happening, but it's mainly about the fights. The only problem is that unlike DBZ and Bleach, the action is extremely hard to follow. In the manga specifically, and consistently has me saying this will look so good animated because what Mappa did with that first season, being able to translate the sometimes confusing action of the manga into something far more visually interesting and less confusing, was magic. So I can't wait to see how they do that with the future chapters. Um, One Punch Man. We finally seen Saitama not only use his full power against someone just as powerful as him, but also surpass that power. It was dope. Uh, he's now at a point where I feel like you can say for certain, based on what he's been explicitly shown to be capable of, that he's up there with characters like Goku and Superman. I feel like before you can only assume because of the way they're making it seem that he was potentially up there, but we never actually see him perform those feats. Now we've seen him perform those feats, and it's ridiculous. That arc has also just wrapped up. This this arc has been going on for so long. It's like ridiculously long. I was getting kind of tired of it, but it finally ended. So that's dope. Give me a second. Okay. So Blood Syndicate, Milestone comic. So the final piece of the Milestone Media puzzle. I read the first three issues because I didn't realize it had finally came out. And I think at this point, like a fourth issue had also come out. So far it's pretty interesting. The Big Bang that gave people in Dakota City superpowers also gave some gang members and their powers, and they're using their abilities to wage war against each other. Especially since Icon and Rocket cleared out the more organized gangs. Um, One gangbanger in particular named Holocaust, who has pyrokinesis, super strength, and super durability, is plotting a hostile takeover of not only the gangs of the city, but the entire island that the city's located on. So, yeah, it's wild. He's not a good person. He's constantly setting people on fire. Um, it's been really good so far. It's up there with Hardware in terms of my favorite of the modern Milestone Media comics. Radiant Black. I've decided to take a break from Radiant Black. Let the prices of the issues go down and just take a smooth break. Um, so as I assumed, the original Radiant Black Nathan, who lost his powers after almost dying, he had them returned, and his best friend Marshall, who took up the mantle after him, was after he well this happened after his friend Marshall almost died, so he took up the mantle of Radiant Black again to save him. It seems like they may end up using the Radiant together, and that's interesting. So Radiant Red has ended. It's the end of the miniseries, but the beginning of another because they're definitely going. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm stuttering so much today. Going to continue it in the future. Like I said before, I like Radiant Red more than Radiant Black, honestly. Mostly due to the main character. Um, she goes on an interesting journey about like finding out whether she's good or bad, and ultimately discovers that it's not that simple, and that she's not either, and instead she's like something somewhere in between. And I love characters like this. It's why I love Ahsoka so much. I love characters who go on a journey of self discovery that goes against everything they've been taught their entire lives. With Ahsoka, she had to find her way of being a Force user after realizing that the Jedi are far from perfect. And another character I love that goes through something similar is Zuko from Avatar: Last Airbender. He spent his entire life trying to be bad to impress his father, when ultimately he's always been a good person, and he had to figure out who he truly wanted to be. With Satomi in Radiant Red, she was the golden child of her family who went to college, became a teacher, and entered a loving marriage. But it turns out in reality, her husband is a gambling addict who steals from her to feed his addiction, um, which results in Satomi robbing a bank to pay off his debts. And she tries to like get out of the life of crime after almost killing Radiant Black, the original one, Nathan, but gets pulled back in and starts. Honestly, she starts to enjoy it. Um, and then like just her life as she knew it gets upended, and now she has to kind of like figure out what she wants to do. Last but not least, I read Wonder Woman Historia, and it was good. It chronicles the history of the Amazons, starting from their conception by the goddesses of Olympus. The artwork by Jean Ha is beautiful, but it runs into the same problem I have with Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece's art. It's in such excruciating detail that it's kind of hard to look at sometimes. But overall, it's good. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm excited to read the second uh issue or volume, I guess. Um, yeah, it's been good so far. So yeah, that's all I got when it comes to comics.